But there was always that idea that gender was a social construct, whereas sex is a biological construct. So there have to be only two sexes, but there can be any number of genders because obviously it's a social construct. Whatever society agrees on would have to go. What do you think about that?
So just because civilizations have done it in the past doesn't make it a good idea. But recognizing that it did happen, we would make the argument that there's two sexes and two genders, and gender and sex are directly related.
Why would you say it's not a good idea to differentiate this? Because it seems to me that with all the people out there yelling that there should be more than one gender, it would make the most societal sense.
Well, I do believe there's more than one gender.
So you rather think that, rather than say, okay, I can be whatever gender I want, but you don't need to necessarily.
Of course, you have the freedom. I don't think a government agency should come through. You know what I do think is dangerous? Adding a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh box on a birth certificate, which is already happening in Canada. They're adding a non-binary box in Canada for gender. I think that's wrong. I think that's morally reprehensible.
Now, I would disagree on morally reprehensible, but I think that is actually.
Do you want me to tell you why I think it's morally reprehensible? Because children typically live in a state of confusion. Would you agree? They're trying to understand language. They're trying to understand their place in the world. Let me finish real quick. No, let me finish. So to add more confusion to a child's already discovery in a place in a very chaotic world, I consider to be morally questionable, if not reprehensible. It is society's, parents, and communities' right to try to guide a child to develop into a chaotic world. To say to a child, oh, you can choose whatever you want to be, that's adding more chaos into a child's life that will only lead to suffering. So let me give you an example. So in Oregon, without parental consent, at age 15, you can have the state pay for your sex realignment surgery.
Right.
Do you think there's something wrong with that?
Yes.
Okay, you do. Good. So we agree.
Oh, absolutely. So here's the thing. 15, you're not even young enough to legally drink.
No, exactly.
You're not legally young enough to do anything.
You and I have agreement. I think there's something wrong when a 15-year-old can go get state-funded sex reassignment surgery without telling their parents.
You say that you're fine with there being more than one gender, as in if I want to identify something else, that's fine. You just don't want to have to call me as them. And I think
That's correct.
That's a fine point. But if I were to identify as another gender, wouldn't I think that your idea of two genders be a little offensive?
It might. I mean, it would be no more offensive than someone having a religious difference or political difference. See, my opinion is rooted first and foremost in biology.
Yeah, but people find their political differences to be offensive also.
No, that's okay, but I couldn't care less if people find my political differences offensive.
It's absolutely vital we expose the far left in our institutions and continue our work on campus and across the UK and in defending both free speech and conservative values. So please help us by clicking the subscribe button. Thank you.